Republican Donald Trump wins the key battleground state of Georgia. He retakes the swing state after losing it to Joe Biden in 2020. The swing states of Pennsylvania, Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan and Nevada remain up for grabs. Arizona and Nevada are expected to declare the results after all other states in the United States. And Donald Trump wins both the Dakota states, wins in the North and South Dakota, secure at least 6 electoral college seats for the Republican. Democrat Kamala Harris wins the 2nd congressional district in Nebraska. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has won the 3rd congressional district and the complete electoral college in the Midwestern state. Kamala Harris's campaign says the vice president will not speak on counting night. This as she trails Donald Trump in the race for the White House.
Good evening, Howard. Good evening, HU. I want to say good evening to all of the Harris campaign, the campaign family. Thank you for all that you have done. Thank you for being here. Thank you for believing in the promise of America. We still have votes to count. We still have states that have not been called yet. We will continue overnight to fight to make sure that every vote is counted, that every voice has spoken. So you won't hear from the Vice President tonight, but you will hear from her tomorrow. She will be back here tomorrow to address not only the HU family, not only to address her supporters, but to address the nation. So thank you. We believe in you. May God bless you. May God keep you. And go HU and go Harris. Thank you all.
There is no truth to the allegation that there is mass shooting in Philadelphia. We have been in touch with the RNC and anybody who has any complaints throughout the day. We've been responsive. Everything has been handled appropriately.
I don't want to say anything, Donald Trump. Only thing I want to say is us, citizens of Philadelphia, you're going to get the election that you deserve, and you have always been having accurate results and honesty. And we have great citizens here working to do their job. I mean, I saw something on social media. I mean, I saw it said something about it was cheating and all that kind of stuff. Again, that's not nothing new. I mean, this playbook has been played since 2020. We saw it, and we're going to do our job to give the citizens and give America the election.
Typically, I know that in Atlanta, they also just got a whole bunch of bomb threats come through. And Atlanta Police Department, they're keeping everything open. All the precincts are staying open, and they're just sending dogs around to sweep it. to make sure that they're safe. But we know where it's coming from. FBI knows where it's coming from. But we want to make sure, interest of public safety, that everyone, make sure that it doesn't, slow down anyone from voting. And like I said, if you are in line at 7 p.m., you can continue to stay in line until you exercise your right to vote. It's just a little bit slower because you have, I think that was 15 precincts plus the 2 in Cobb. It's a total of 15 precincts, so it just extends it out for there. But all those early votes have already been, all the early voting has already been done. There's no reason for that should not be tabulated and, uploaded quickly. And then all the other votes for the absentee that have been accepted, so that should come quickly also. I'm frustrated as an American that people would threaten other Americans, and so or threaten, just question the safety, and so that's what frustrates me. But we work through it. But our heart goes out for our voters, and that's what our concern is, and our poll work.
We planned heavily for the incident of a bomb threat being called in, and it's a good thing we did, because that's the only thing that happened today was 32 bomb threats at different polling locations. 32. We were able to clear 27 of them very quickly without the need for an evacuation. 5 of them, the polls were temporarily closed down at the poll manager's request while we conducted the sweep, and they were reopened. We don't know where the threats came from at this point, and it is an active investigation, but we do intend on doing our best to locate who made.
জানতে চাও আমার বাউন্সি চুলের সিক্রেট? আমার ট্রেন্ডিং চুলের সিক্রেট, সহজেই চুলের ঝলক দেখানোর সিক্রেট, আমাদের নজরকাড়া চুলের সিক্রেট, প্যারাশুট অ্যাডভান্সড সিক্রেটস। গ্লোবাল এক্সপার্টদের পরামর্শে নারকেল তেল ও বিশেষ প্রাকৃতিক উপাদানে তৈরি এলো এই যুগান্তকারী হেয়ার অয়েল। রোজমেরি ঘন ও মজবুত চুলের জন্য, আলমন্ড করে ড্যামেজ রিপেয়ার ও চুল মসৃণ, ফ্ল্যাক্সিড লম্বা ও ঝলমলে চুলের জন্য। প্যারাশুট সিক্রেটস, নজরকাড়া চুলে থাকো ট্রেন্ডিং।
How many of you know you can't buy blessings? How many of you know blessing comes by the condition of your heart, right? If your heart is right, everything else flows out of your life. The Bible says out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Out of the abundance of the heart, all the issues of life. You can't buy a blessing. It's a matter of where your heart is. God looks on the heart. God's not concerned with all the outside stuff. If you get the inside stuff right, the obedience will manifest itself on the outside. And then when you're willing and obedient, in other words, when it's on the outside as a result of what's on the inside, then you'll eat the good of the land.
I'd say that it was pretty important just because, well, the thing that I was most concerned about personally was the reproductive rights question, and that's what brought me here.
Definitely, like, the biggest one and the biggest talk is like the reproductive health. Like, now that I'm in my 20s now, I'm no longer a kid. Like, I realize, oh my gosh, like, these are things that are affecting me in the future, in my friends and my family. And I think that's super important that we continue to fight for them.
One of the issues that was definitely important to me was rights for birth control for women. What's it called? I think that's like the only one that comes to my mind, to be honest.
No, it's the okay. See, that was okay.
It's like, it's home here. So it's like coming home to watch one of your own do something big. I can't even tell you what it means to be here.
We're going to prioritize them, okay? They're going to go through.
Got into DC about 9:30 a.m. and started wandering around to figure out the process for where we would line up. The reason it was so important to me is because this is a campus of firsts, and the idea that I could be half an hour away from the first black woman president, and she's from my alma mater, and it's right here. And when she announced her watch party, I knew I had to be there. I didn't hope that, I thought that getting here at 9:30 would have been too late. I imagined people camping out last night because that's what I would have done if I'd given the opportunity. So when we ended up being first in line, I called my mother. That's how I felt. I called home and let her know that I was first in line. So yeah, this is big. Oh, she was excited. She's happy. I brought my iPad. I'm going to FaceTime her so she can share in the moment, her and my father. We're all immigrants. We're from Jamaica, so like Kamala, Jamaicans. So it's a big day for us. So I'm hoping to be able to share that with my parents who brought us all over here back in 1980.
Hold on, guys. Let this one. We don't need the ID.
The feeling with Obama was just hope for the future. It was joyous and happy. The difference between then and now is that there is a healthy amount of fear of the alternative, that this has to go our way because the alternative may spell the beginning of the end of democracy.
We are at Harvard University, the alma mater of Kamala Harris. She graduated from here in 1986 and she's going to watch the election results from here. So you can see the excitement in the build-up to the result declaration. Students are gathering here. Classes were cancelled today to allow them to be able to vote. You see a very big media presence as well. The mood is celebratory. People are upbeat and they're confident that Kamala Harris will pull it off this time. The early results have also started pouring in. 14 states have been called so far. These are the first results that have come out. Donald Trump is leading with 95 votes. Kamala Harris is at 35, but remember these are early numbers and these are all on expected lines. The key battles will be the ones in the swing states, the 7 swing states that we've been telling you about. Trump so far has taken Kentucky, Indiana, West Virginia, Florida for the 3rd time, Alabama, Missouri, Oklahoma and Tennessee. Harris has got Vermont, District of Columbia where we are, Maryland and Massachusetts. The turnout also interestingly is quite high. As we've reported earlier, more than 80 million voters cast early ballots. That is quite a big number. Even in in-person voting, we are seeing a big surge in some of the battleground states. So that can tell you something about the voter mood and how people are enthused and they want to make a point and make their vote count. Georgia, interestingly, has come out with an exit poll on Georgia, in fact, which says that independents prefer Trump. Now, Georgia is a key state, some 16 electoral votes here, and one of the first to close voting at 7 p.m. EST. Georgia was among the first to have closed polling. Donald Trump has also made a last-minute appeal telling his supporters that if you're there in the line, don't leave.
Our Republicans, we're doing really well. If you're in line, stay in line. Don't let them take you off that line. Vote. Stay on the line. They can't do anything about it. And vote. We're going to win it big. Thank you.
They cannot make you leave. Go and cast your vote. So every vote counts. That is how close this race is shaping up to be.
The path to victory for Kamala Harris appears to be narrowing. It's not looking good for her in Georgia and North Carolina, 2 of those southern swing states that she had competed hard to win. Now, her campaign says this isn't particularly surprising. They always thought the race would come down to that trio of Rust Belt states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, and we probably won't get results for several hours, if not several days. They say they like what they're seeing in Pennsylvania, strong turnout in Philadelphia, promising results in Wisconsin as well, those suburban counties around Milwaukee. Now, obviously, you're Donald Trump, you're feeling pretty good right now. And then there's the case of Iowa. You might recall over the weekend there was a poll that came out that said that Kamala Harris was leading in Iowa. This sent big shockwaves throughout the country because it would have pointed to a large victory for her in other states as well. That's clearly not happening. Trump easily won Iowa, cutting off that potential support.
And even if Donald Trump is Virginia, if you take a look at that real quick, and again, you can see most of separating Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Donald Trump has won North Carolina the last 2 elections.
I thought he would do better in Pennsylvania, but apparently not what they saw here. But like I say, it's still early, so hopefully he'll win enough to win the election. So.
He did a great job. He was very fearless, and he took care of Pennsylvania. And you know what? And it's gonna show. It's gonna show. It's gonna pay off tonight. You know that the people saw he almost got killed there. So it's very historical that he's gonna flip that state.
Look at some of those counties in Virginia. Not surprised. I mean, Loudoun County, some of
it's going to be harder to try to steal the election this time. You know, it's kind of America's woken up a little. You know, we really needed to wake up, and it took a certain person to do that. And now that we are, I think it's going to be harder to try to overcome this positivity that we all have for Trump.
We did a great job in that we brought it back to the states, as you know. I believe in exceptions, as Ronald Reagan did. And we did a great job. We did something that they've wanted to do for 52 years. Yes, please.
Mr. President, you talk a lot about if you win, there are going to be tens of millions of Harris supporters who are going to be upset. What would your plan be to reach out to those people, bring them in? What would your message be?
Well, it'll be just that. We want to bring everybody in. We want to be very inclusive, and we will be very inclusive. We have a great country, but we have a country that's in trouble. It's in big trouble in many ways, and we have to straighten it out. We have crime is through the roof. We have people pouring through our borders that are not exactly perfect. They come out of prisons. 13,000 people convicted of murder. We don't need this in our country. We have enough difficulty. We don't need that. So I think people saw that, and it just seems that the conservatives are voting very powerfully.
Looking back,
just finish it up.
how are you feeling? Nervous, anxious?
No, I feel very confident. I have felt. You know, we went in with a very big lead today, and it looks like Republicans have shown up in force. So we'll see how it turns out. But it seems that they have really shown up in force. I just got a call from Dan Patrick in Texas. He said they've never seen anything like it. It's been very good.
Looking back, is there anything you would do differently about your campaign today? You regret about how you ran this campaign?
Look, regrets. You always have regrets. I can't think of any, to be honest, to use her expression. I can't think of any. Look, I ran a great campaign. I think it was maybe the best of the three. We did great in the first one. We did much better in the second one, but something happened. And this was the best. I would say this was the best campaign we ran.
President Trump, do you accept the possibility that you and Vice President Harris both might not get to 270 electoral votes by the end of tonight?
It should never happen. A thing like that should never happen. This election should be over. They spend all this money on machines. And frankly, if they'd use paper ballots, it would be over by 10 o'clock. And by the way, the paper ballots would cost 8%. Would be 8% of the cost. If they would use paper ballots, voter ID, proof of citizenship, and one-day voting, it would all be over by 10 o'clock in the evening. It's crazy. They use these very expensive computers, and I'm hearing in Pennsylvania they won't have an answer till 2 or 3 days from now. I think it's an absolute outrage if that's the case. Now, maybe it'll be later, but it's paper ballots in France. They went paper ballots because the mail-in was not working. It was corrupt. And in France, they went paper ballots. And at 10 o'clock in the evening, they had 37 million votes counted and done. They had a winner, they had a loser. And in this country, I mean, I'm just hearing that in certain states, it's going to be a long time, and it won't even be close. It won't even be that close. They say, I'm going to win the state, but it's going to take a long time to certify it.
Could you see a world where you don't declare victory tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing the same things that you're hearing. I'm hearing states where I'm up by a lot, but they won't have a final number for a long time.
What are your plans for tonight in terms of watching the results and so forth?
So we're going to have a very special group of people, many of whom you know, and they'll be at Mar-a-Lago. In addition, we'll have 4,000 or 5,000 people at the convention center. On the assumption I win, I mean, I don't know if something else happens. I don't know what's going to happen in terms of declaring victory, but if in normal times I would go over to the convention center, let's say at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock or something, but I just don't know. It looks like we have a very substantial lead. It looks like we have many more Republicans voting today than Democrats, so if you have a lead and we have a bigger vote, that means you're doing very well, but they have to call a winner. They should, and they should call a winner, yes. Just stop talking about that. Go ahead. Oh. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much. Well, we just came over to, it's too early to congratulate, but we are hearing it's record kind of numbers. Caroline, do you want to just tell them what you told me a little while ago?
Sure, yeah. Enthusiasm is very high. We're seeing our voters are turning out, especially in rural areas across the country, and we see Democrat areas are not turning out as great as our people. So your people are ready and they're turning out for you, sir.
And we had a big lead to start off with. Now, here it's really amazing. I get a call from the people in Texas, Dan Patrick and others. They say that they've never actually seen anything like it. So it should be good.
It will.
It should be good. I want to just thank everybody, regardless. We just wanted to come over and pay our respects. Our #1 best-selling author. Can you believe it? So we have a big day. We'll be watching, and it'll be very interesting. I hope they come up with a result tonight. They say areas that were winning big, they might not be able to come up with it for 2 days. It's just a crazy thing. And I'm really saying this more for the press than for you. They should do paper ballots, same-day voting, voter ID, and be done. One day, same day. And by 10 o'clock, everybody would be... And you know, you're talking about for 8% of the cost. It would cost 8%. Think of that. For 8%, you get a better product. But we'll have to look at it.
This is the heartbeat of your organization, sir.
This is a great, well, you're the heartbeat too, aren't you? What about Alex? How's Alex? Are you surprised?
You're doing great, sir. You built the greatest political movement in history, and everybody here has been working super hard for you. And you're our inspiration, and we're going to bring this up today.
It's very nice. Thank you. It's very nice. And I hear the social media has been just unbelievable.
You make it easy for us. You give us a lot of
Joe
content.
Rogan has been just he's a great guy. And that was a big thing. And he did that. He just doesn't do that. And that he did that, I think it meant a lot. So all over the country, I hear it's all red, and we don't need that. You know, we went in with a very big lead, so we just had to sort of keep it. But I hear it's beyond that, and it's a movement. There's never been a movement like this, and we're going to turn our country around. We're going to not let people that murder people come into our country. We're not going to let drug dealers come into our country and terrorists come into our country. Little things like that, people are not going to stand them, and that's why we're doing well. But you know what? We still have a time to go, so let's make sure that we have this under control. And some of you I'm going to see tonight, I would imagine. I hope all of you. So I'll be seeing you tonight, and it'll be great. The First Lady's coming with us, and she's really impressed by the job you've done. Would you like to say something?
A great job. Thank you so much for all your support, and it was hard work. I know it's hours to hours, and I know how hard my husband is working non-stop. So, but thank you for all of your support. Great job.
Yesterday and the day before, you actually reminds me, the day before too, we did a lot of rallies, and they're big ones. We did full rallies as opposed to, so we got in about 5 o'clock in the morning. We left Michigan. I think Michigan's going to be great, especially since we killed the biggest factory that ever auto factory that I think anywhere at any time, which would have, destroyed them. And we did that without being president. So that was a big thing. But I think Michigan's going to be good. They're all looking really good. Susie, I can't think of anything, hearing any weaknesses. Right? What do you think of Susie? Would you say good? Well, we just wanted to come over and pay our respects. This is really great. And we're going to see you tonight, and hopefully they'll be able to get these expensive computers going. The reason you use computers is to make time so that it's like fast. You don't use them so that you have to come up with an answer 3 days later. And that's a little scary when they say, what are they doing? You use a computer because it calculates quickly. And you use paper because you save cost. But the paper turns out to be much quicker than the computer. There's something wrong with that, so we don't like that. But there are a lot of things that are happening in our country that have to be changed, and we'll do it, and we'll do what's right for the country. And I think that's why we're doing well. But let's see if we can close it out. But it would be, I just asked about it, wouldn't it be nice if after spending billions of dollars that they could have a computer give an answer by like 10 o'clock in the evening? Doesn't make sense, does it? Doesn't really make sense. It's crazy. Thank you very much. We'll see you later. Have a good day. And you're going to be watching, and they're going to be watching. Make sure there's no cheating, right? There's going to be no cheating. Okay. Thank you, everybody. I like that.